One thing leads to another, and Donald starts, as he's wont to do, starts shooting his mouth off, and he was saying things about President Obama, and I said on the air I think, Donald, if you're saying these things, I think that means you might be a racist. If you're capable of saying these things, are you, in fact, a racist? Is Donald Trump a racist? I flat out called him a racist.
What we really need to be doing at this point is asking ourselves a question. If a guy says on one day, I want to lead a positive campaign, and the next day puts out a despicable racist ad like the guy just did attacking Jeb Bush because he said one kind thing about Latinos, do you want this guy in the White House? At some point, we got to go beyond, is this guy entertaining, and say, is this guy fit to lead the country? And he's obviously not.
Yeah. Hey, well, this is Van Jones, right? It only took him 30 seconds to call Donald Trump a racist, and this is absolutely outrageous.
No,
He's attacking Jeb Bush.
No, I said the ad's
issues.
racist. The ad is racist. No, the ad.
We know what you're implying, Van Jones. We're not done.
Here's the deal. If you take one or two or three people from a community of 11 million who are horrible people, admittedly, who are murderers, who are awful, and use them to define 11 million people, there's a word for that. It's called scapegoating, it's called racism, and it's wrong in America.
Donald Trump's getting slammed for claiming that the judge presiding over his Trump University fraud case cannot be impartial because he's Mexican and knows that Trump plans on building that wall. Now, Judge Curiel is actually an American of Mexican descent, born in Indiana, okay? His opponents say that this is more proof that he's racist. And, you know, people say, is this racism?
You know, I have let me say this before, because I know you guys are going to get into it. Racism, the definition, a belief or doctrine that inherent differences among the various human racial groups determine cultural or individual achievement, saying that one race is superior than the other. However, prejudice is an unfavorable opinion or feeling formed beforehand or without knowledge, thought, or reason. Any preconceived opinion or feeling, either favorable or unfavorable. So I think that was prejudice.
Yeah, he's like Archie Bunker.
Well, I have to tell you, I think it's racist, and I'll tell you why. Because for me, when you pick any group of people and you say they are this and they are that, now, it's not that he doesn't know any better. It's not that he's, you know, that this is new to him. He has been crappy about Muslims, and it's just about the difference. And the reason people call it racism is because it now falls under this umbrella. It's everybody except non-white people.
No, I heard it. I also think the judge had no business on that case. I think Mr. Trump didn't litigate his position very well, and I think that he could have chosen different words. But Anna, for you to sit here and call Donald Trump a flat-out racist is outrageous.
Well, let me do it again, and let me do it in two languages. Es un racista. He is a flat-out racist, and it's what he's played on for 16 months. He is a bigot. He is a racist. He is a misogynist. He has said horrible things about women. He has said horrible things about immigrants, about Hispanics. He has yet to say one good thing about immigrants. And for you to shake your head and tell me that I'm the outrageous one is what outrages me. Republicans need to speak up, and people need to know that not all Republicans are represented by the hostile, vile voice of Donald Trump.
Claiming a person can't do their job because of their race is sort of like the textbook definition of a racist comment. I think that should be absolutely disavowed. It's absolutely unacceptable.
Okay, well, if something is a textbook definition of racism, well, obviously you're not going to support the textbook definition of a racist, are you, Paul Ryan?
All right, so let's talk about some things that you may not think are quite as funny right now. Donald Trump, what's it say?
I think he's a racist. Yeah. And I think it's not, you can't equivocate. If I'm in a car and somebody I'm with commits a crime, the police pull me over, they don't go, oh, I can't make a reasonable argument that I didn't know. And I think you can't be a little pregnant and you can't be a little racist. Right. It's like a Missouri Compromise to me. This is a modern-day Missouri Compromise.
So you don't buy Paul Ryan saying, hey, what he said was racist, but I'm
what he's saying is that a racist is better than a liberal.
He really trades in hyperbole.
He trades in racism, doesn't he?
Well, I'll leave that up to the commentators to sort of talk about whether he's, you know, people who have more an opinion side are probably more apt or better able to talk about whether he's racist or racism. I quote what people say.
And censorship, okay? Kelly Osbourne tried to call Donald Trump racist. She screwed up. And then the whole world went in on her. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, who actually may be a racist, is watching at home, laughing his ass off, sitting on top of his solid gold toilet that was probably cleaned by someone who wasn't born in this country.
So we have to go with the facts. And the facts that we've seen from Donald Trump is that he has spewed racist rhetoric, and he has demonstrated that that is his mentality, and that's what's around him.
Let Bakari get it.
Well, just listen to what you heard. And clearly, as Donald just admitted, he knew he was going to stand on this debate stage and Lester Holt was going to be asking us questions. So he tried to put the whole racist birther lie to bed. But it can't be dismissed that easily. He has really started his political activity based on this racist lie that our first black president was not an American citizen.
19 days out from the election, you've been labeled a racist, you've been called a sexist. How do you respond to that?
I am the least racist person you've ever met.
The first ever black president will be followed by a president who's endorsed by the KKK. Bob, where does that leave you?